Hello, my name is Kelly Penzenik, Director of Marketing and Communications for the Lake County YMCA. A Harvard study has proven embracing community helps us live longer and be happier. I'd like to share with you a story that is near and dear to my heart. A story of friendship, community, and selflessness. A story that shows the true power of the YMCA.
Mix 97.1, today's best mix on the Great North Coast, about 8:45 a.m. Going to be a great day on the show starting after 6 a.m. The Dream House Project with the Lake County YMCA. More info at Lake County YMCA.
Meet John and Louise, a friendship grown through the YMCA over the past 7 years. And this is their story. How long have you been a member of the YMCA?
Well, I've been a member at the Y for 27 years and counting, but the way I came to the Y was that I was a member of Scandinavian, and I worked out at night and worked full time. But once I started having children, I could no longer do that, and I didn't want to take any more time away from them. So fortunately for me, the Y opened at 5 a.m., and that was the perfect time because I could get my work in done before, and get home and still get the kids up and ready for school and so on without missing a beat. And that's how it's easy for me to remember how long it is, because I've been a member since my children were born, and they've been Y kids all along in gym and swim and all the way throughout their lives as well. So we're a Y family.
I was probably 7 years old when my mother took me to a YMCA in Detroit, Michigan, to board a bus that was going to Camp Oyesa, I believe it is. That was a surprise to me that I was going out there until I was put on the bus. Then out here for the past 16 years. I came here to lose weight. That was my mission. And I've lost 54 pounds since I started.
Can you tell me what your favorite thing is about the YMCA?
Well, I would say the camaraderie.
The people that I work out with, especially the 5 a.m. crowd, it's more like a social club, and we get to know each other, and we do fun things together.
There's a connection there and a concern, one person for the other.
We check on each other if we miss, especially for the older folks, because you worry about them. If they're in the hospital or sick, you go and visit them. So it's more of a family than just going to work out.
So we're in it together and wondering why we get up so early in the morning to do that. If I had to do it, I would not like it. I'd refuse. So I think that's probably the most important thing. Losing weight, secondary.
Describe to me the first time John came up and introduced himself to you.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was an event I'll remember all my life. I was absolutely terrified.
One day he came up to me when we were working out.
Okay, here goes. It took all the courage I could summon up.
And it was the first time that he showed me his unique talent of flexing his pecs. And he came up and he gave me this cliche of,
"Do you come here often?" I thought that'd be the dumbest thing I could say. And flex my pecs at her.
And I totally cracked up and lost it.
She must have laughed for 5 minutes. Tears were coming out of her eyes. Amen.
He told me later on that he was always rather shy, that he's really never done that before, especially come up to someone and a woman and say, hey, and make a comment like that.
I've never done anything like that before in my life, actually.
And from then on, we just became friends.
We've been friends ever since.
Why does your relationship with John mean so much?
First of all, he's so inspiring. If I could have just an ounce of that inspiration into my 90s, if I'm lucky enough to live into my 90s, how awesome is that? His sheer determination. I think he's a kid at heart, and rather than saying, why can't I do this or why can't I do this, he doesn't let a number define him. He's very passionate about still wanting to maintain his independence and showing what he can do. So that kid's heart has a competitive streak in it. He talks about his daughter being able to hold a 3-minute plank. So, well, why can't I do 1 minute? And he's bound and determined to do that, and he has done that. He has done it to a count of 60, and it's really exciting to watch him do that.
My daughter in Florida is a yogi person, and the yogis were doing 3-minute planks. That was the idea in the class. And it went into my head, well, I can do the plank. Maybe Louise would do the plank with me. Now, I'm asking a lot from her because she uses every second of her time in the Healthy Living Center when she's in there. And to break that routine and take 5 minutes with this confused old man is a sacrifice for what she does. But she's taken me on as a project, and in the film the other day you saw me do a plank with Louise, who could do a 10-minute plank if she wanted to, break my record and get the first 1-minute plank that I've ever done.
So he inspires, he motivates. I'm afraid to miss a day without an excuse, because I would worry about him because he would still try to do his planks. And then I worry about, oh, how's he going to get up? I call him Mr. Rice Krispies because he does a snap, crackle, and pop in his bones, and that would probably scare someone else away. We have a whole routine of how we can get him up using the bar. So that motivates me to making sure that, hey, if there's a day that I might be thinking about wanting to miss, I'm like, nope, can't do it. I don't want to disappoint John.
She always helps me up afterwards, which is probably important, the most important thing. Don't leave the remains up on the exercise spot.
He has a great sense of humor, and he seems to be able to know when people need that humor. The fact that he will just belt out a tune at any given point cracks me up, especially whenever he can do that when we're holding count on planks. And he'll do a hymn or some old song or whatever, and it just is inspiring, and again, it puts you in touch with what's really real and what life is all about.
It's just kind of fun. I get encouragement and companionship all rolled into one, and coaching. Now the goal is 2 minutes. Try to work up to 1.5 minutes and then 2 minutes. She doesn't know that yet. Wait, she finds out.
One of the most recent examples for me, and it's a very sweet example of his kindness, is my mom recently passed, and about a week after I came back, John had asked me, he's like, how long is it going to be before you leave? And I go, about 15 minutes. And didn't think anything of it and was going through my routine, and when 15 minutes was up, I went to go say goodbye to him, because we always make sure we say goodbye and have a good day and be careful out there, that kind of stuff. I always tell him, make good choices. And I noticed he wasn't on the floor, so I thought, oh, well, that's weird. He kind of blew me off. And I'm like, all right, well, so I got my coat, and as I was coming up to the service desk, I noticed that he was sitting on the bench across from the men's locker room. So I walked up and I'm like, John, are you okay? And he's like, yes, I wanted to give you this, and he handed me a card. And he told me that the reason he did that, he didn't want to give it to me in the beginning. He wanted to do it at the end because he wanted to tell me how sorry he was and to give me a hug. So I think that was very sweet and a true example of his kindness.
If I had to describe it in a couple of words, it's not a boy-girl relationship or a father-daughter relationship. It's a friendly, more pal thing. We're just somebody to see to say hi to, and how you doing. It's been good for me, and I hope for Louise. Across the bridge, there is no sorrow. Across the bridge, there is no pain. Across the river, the sun will shine. That's backwards. and you'll never be unhappy again.